Hey, how's it going? In today's video, we're talking about Dragon Ball Super and why I feel Gohan will become somewhat of a mentor to Broly. This video will contain spoilers for the current chapters in the Dragon Ball Super manga, so you have been warned. With that being said, let's get started. In Dragon Ball Super Chapter 101, we get a scene after the events of the Dragon Ball Super superhero arc, and we get to witness Broly and Vegeta sparring with each other. Vegeta makes an effort to give Broly a new perspective during their sparring session. He begins to tell Broly that anger in itself isn't a bad thing, that Broly suppressing his rage would mean that he can never truly live up to his potential. Vegeta then goes on to explain that Saiyans time and time again have shown that their true source of strength comes from their raw emotions. Broly has a lot of anger, and it's understandable why. He was basically his father's slave and used as a weapon for decades. Never allowed to think for himself. Never allowed to express himself. Not even allowed to have a companion. He was always loyal to his father even when his father didn't deserve it. Broly had no way of expressing his emotions in a healthy way during his years on planet Vampa. But Vegeta says that in order for Broly to grow as a warrior, he needs to control that anger. Broly needs to use that anger instead of letting that anger use him. And Vegeta is not wrong, as we've seen through several occasions in the franchise. When a Saiyan is truly enraged, they jump to new heights beyond their imagination. But what I really think triggered Vegeta to tell Broly to embrace his rage was his experience with the Ultra Ego transformation. This form relies on the more savage nature of the user, and pain works as fuel to empower the user even further. Ultra Ego truly is the perfect form for Saiyans. But you know what's even more impressive? Vegeta had to go Super Saiyan just to be evenly matched with base Broly. Mind you, Vegeta and Goku have been sparring in their base forms the entire time they've been on Beerus' planet after their encounter with Black Frieza. This is because they have already reached the pinnacle of their strength. They both have the desire to grow mentally and use their current power more effectively. Pretty much in a similar manner to how Jiren fought in the Tournament of Power. He had an uncanny mastery of his mind and body. Broly ends up asking Vegeta how would he go about controlling his anger, and Vegeta, being Vegeta, tells him to find the answer himself. I think the answer Broly is looking for will be found in Gohan, and the answer has to come from Gohan because in a way, Gohan and Broly are like kindred spirits, which I will elaborate on further in the video. According to Whis in Chapter 101, Gohan Beast has surpassed the current Goku and Vegeta in terms of power. Now we still don't know if Whis was referring to the Super Saiyan Blue forms or the Ultra forms, but it says a lot about Gohan, an individual without God Ki managing to surpass everyone in such a short amount of time. During the end of the superhero arc, we saw that both Gohan and Piccolo deactivated their forms unintentionally, which indicated to a lot of people, at least in Gohan's case, that this was not a form he could tap into at will. But Chapter 101 throws that out the window. Gohan, upon witnessing the Red Ribbon Army characters from the superhero arc, activates his beast form almost in the same manner as he would his regular Super Saiyan form. So thankfully he can tap into it whenever he needs it. And this form is very important because it's literally rage incarnate. What put in my mind that Gohan would train Broly is the moment that Goku sent his son all the way from Beerus' planet and used instant transmission to show up right in front of Gohan, Goten, and Trunks. Knowing Goku, he is probably going to recruit Gohan to help in preparing against Black Frieza. But more importantly, Gohan will get to meet Broly for the first time in the Super continuity, and I believe he will shape the direction of Broly's character forever. Like I stated earlier, Gohan and Broly are very similar in a lot of ways. They both had enormous potentials as children, easily surpassing their respective fathers on several occasions. They both also happened to be enraged very easily, and whenever that happened, they became some of the most dangerous characters in this franchise. Gohan as a kid was able to fight Frieza in multiple forms, kill Cell, go toe-to-toe with Super Buu, and most recently he killed Cell Max. They both are characters who were used as weapons at different points in their lives as well. Broly was a weapon to Paragus, and in the moment that his father decided to place a shock collar around his neck, then he became a weapon for Frieza to kill Goku and Vegeta, or at least defeat them and let Frieza finish them off. And then Gohan was used by Piccolo at the beginning of Z as their best chance of fighting against the Saiyans. Then he was used by Goku as Earth's best chance in defeating Perfect Cell. Despite being more peaceful natured Saiyans, their potential often dragged them into insane battles. Gohan has always been self-aware about his rage. He even told Cell back in the day that he understood why his father chose him to take his place in the Cell games. He knew about the beast within from the very start, that when he snaps, he is an unstoppable force of nature. Gohan has one of the greatest potentials as a Saiyan, but what holds him back is that he doesn't have a strong passion for fighting like Goku or Vegeta. And if you pay close attention to the Cell Saga era Gohan, he is the only Saiyan in his Super Saiyan form whose hair doesn't stand up. His form as a Super Saiyan looks almost suppressed. It's only when Android 16 told him to let go and that there is nothing wrong with fighting for a noble cause like defending a loved one that Gohan's hair stands up as a Super Saiyan 2, symbolically showing that he's no longer holding back. In a way, it's sort of poetic that Gohan managed to kill Cell Max in his semi-perfect form, which is symbolic of his journey as a warrior coming full circle. Gohan played around with the original semi-perfect form Cell, leading to the Earth almost getting blown up and Goku sacrificing himself to save everyone. Gohan couldn't save his father back then, but he saved his father figure Piccolo by quickly disposing of Cell Max. He did show a little bit of arrogance in his beast form by smirking, but he is moving in a better direction because he didn't waste time in killing Cell Max. I think Gohan and Broly have something that the other lacks. Gohan can do what Broly can't, and that's control his rage. The problem with Gohan, which is something that Piccolo pointed out in the Super Anime, is that Gohan tends to prolong fights. He gets drunk on his power and becomes arrogant at times. And Piccolo is correct. Aside from Cell, Gohan should have been the one to kill Super Buu. He didn't, which gave Super Buu the time to formulate a plan to absorb Gotenks and Piccolo. Buu succeeded, becoming a force beyond Gohan's power at the time. So long as Gohan drags things out, he will never win, no matter how powerful he gets. Broly, unlike Gohan, doesn't have a history of toying around with his opponents. He's quick to finish off whoever stands in his way. The problem is, when he is consumed by rage, he ends up hurting people he cares about and innocent bystanders. Recall, he was attacking Whis, Goku, Vegeta, and Frieza indiscriminately. It took Chi using the Dragon Balls to wish him the planet Vampa for Broly to calm down. Gogeta otherwise would have been forced to kill him because he was completely out of control. By having something that the other lacks, these two really can learn a lot from each other and maybe even potentially become good friends. We don't know what Gohan's answer will be to Broly, but we do know that once Gohan gives his perspective on how to control rage to Broly, Broly will end up awakening the controlled version of the legendary Super Saiyan form, similar to Kale from Universe 6. But unlike Kale, Broly will have the potential to tap into even more potential since he has Beerus and Whis there on the planet as well. Will Broly obtain the Ultra forms? I doubt it, but if he learns how to control God Ki in addition to his overwhelming potential, what chance does Black Frieza really have at that point?